This is John McAllister, and I'd like to welcome you to my Coach's Corner video podcast. And excited today to have a guest, Demeatric Crenshaw, quarterback from Youngstown State University. He won an award as the top freshman in the conference this year. They play in the Missouri Valley Conference. Really, really tough conference. But today we're going to go talk to Demeatric about his days at Pickerington Central, about recruiting, about his days at Youngstown State, and what's gotten him this far, what skills or what drive has gotten him this far, which I think is important. I've known him since he was a sophomore in high school at Pick Central, and he's been a quarterback, and he chose to be a quarterback at Youngstown State. He's a tremendous young man, and I'm really looking forward to talking with him. It's a great time. Stay tuned and enjoy the podcast. Demeatric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. So how are you doing?
Your football season was over, and you guys won that last game.
Yeah, that was a good road win.
That's got. Did you play? You played, didn't you? I know you were injured for a while. You played that. Yeah. That's really good.
Yep.
You what?
I played that full game, yes, sir. Yep.
Good. That's really good. Okay, and you play at what YSU. You're the quarterback. You've lost some weight. You've gotten stronger. You've done a heck of a job. And let's talk about. Let's start out with what your accomplishments are now. Okay, what have you done? What kind of awards have you gotten? And then we'll go backwards. So, what kind of awards have you gotten?
So let's start. Let's see. I got freshman of the week. 1 week. I'm a runner for the Jerry Rice Award. I got freshman of the year at the Missouri Valley Conference. And I broke a record on my school as far as rushing go when we played. I ran for 195.
That's really good. That's really good. And I will say, people, they have this misconception about the Missouri Valley Conference. That's a tough conference, man.
Very tough conference.
North Dakota State, South Dakota State. They just keep coming. You guys are going to be a little bit better next year.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Get some folks in, and Coach Phillips has got another year, and you got a good staff. You got a good staff there. Yes, okay, let's talk about you. You are my poster boy for just having the it factor and the drive to be where you are. Okay, and that's so impressive. Let's start out. You went to high school where?
Pickerington Central. It's a team in Central Ohio.
And then under Coach Sherrick. He's an old softy, isn't he? He's just, I don't think so, but he is. He's not. Tell me about your days there. See if you can add to this. I saw your sophomore year. You scored 6 touchdowns in the state championship, right?
Yes, sir.
I saw your senior year when you beat Cincinnati Elder on a pass that you were running around and finally threw it and scored a touchdown and beat them. Yeah. And I will say that was a tough one for me because the head coach at Elder is a good friend of mine. But you did a great job. Yes, okay, that's at Pick Central. What do you tell a 7th grader who is, say, 5'9", 190 pounds, and just runs okay, and he's African American, and he wants to be a quarterback? What do you tell him? What advice do you give him?
Man, I say really, it's just tough. like you said, being an African American quarterback, and just he got to get through it and just work. Just really just work. Honestly, that's the only thing I did. Only thing I know is just work. Just want to be the best that I could be. One thing I can do is my dad, countless hours, my mom sacrificed everything they did for me. Just working, really. Just tell them just to work and don't ever give up. Because I like last year, I didn't start last year. I went through a whole and I killed the scout team. I was playing scout, killed the first team defense. And then my freshman year in high school, I didn't start. And I played JV, did really good JV. Feel like I should start both those years, but can't complain now. But I just see that's the stuff that brought me to here now. That's fueled me to want to get even better. You know what I mean?
Well, you're a competitor, so you wanted to start. I think being redshirted as a freshman at YSU was a good move.
Yes, it was.
Playing scout team was a good move because now you appreciate being on a scout team. And those guys on the scout team, you appreciate that. A lot of guys can't handle that.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, what do you tell us in high school then? Let's go freshman. Okay, now he's 6 foot, 210 pounds. You ran okay. He ran okay. He threw okay, but not great. But what do you tell a kid now? What do you tell a quarterback now? Still an African American.
Mm-hmm.
What do you tell him now?
What I tell him now is tell him, you know what you got to work on. Me, if I don't throw great, I'm gonna go attack that all off season, and and just really want to work on that part of my game. Like this off season, I was working on my body a lot, as far as trying to get the baby fat off me and things like that. And now what I'm gonna do this season is a lot more film, the mental as being a quarterback and completing more passes, just being the best I could be. But as far as that kid, what I tell him is just to take criticism and just work on work on people. Don't listen to everybody, but like hear them in a way that basically prove them wrong and work on that. If you can't throw that well, try to improve that part of your game. That's
good. I think that's really true, and I think they just have to keep working hard, and your chance is going to come. Now, of course, we've known each other for a long time, and I will tell you, he has to have the it factor. Okay, you got to have the it factor. You've got to be a leader. But you tell me first of all. Okay, let's go to high school and college. What do you think are 4 qualities every quarterback should have?
Definitely be the leader. That's number one.
Good.
Just to have the team listen to you and trust you. You know what I mean? This is being a leader is a big thing definitely for us college. High school is kind of hard because at the end of the day, people go back home and they listen to what their parents say or whatever. But high school, college, y'all all live together. So it's like either you're gonna be that dog on the team, that leader that people listen to. You can't run from it because it's there. Another thing I'll say, like you said, the it factor. Just got to be able to make plays when the time comes. You know what I mean? So when a play break down, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to make this play? For me, I got a lot of certain highlights that I'm just out there doing. I love to do. I'm just playing football. I'm not thinking about doing certain things. I just did it. Things like that just happen. Another thing I'll say, mentally, you got to be mentally strong because it's going to be a lot of times you're going to be chose. You're going to be picked with in like certain ways because everybody was their guy in high school. Everybody in college was a guy in high school. Once you get to college, you got to start all over, and you really have to start all over. And it's a whole different scheme and everything. So coaches may lie. It's a whole bunch of stuff that get into it. For me, I love the coaches here now, but these coaches didn't recruit me here originally. But then again, I'm happy that I'm with the coach I am now, but that's just how it is. Another thing I'll say.
Let's go. Okay, to me, you're right on. Shane Montgomery, did he recruit you? The quarterback coach, was Shane Montgomery recruiting you back then?
It was Coach Bo and Coach Joe Gaines.
Okay, now let's go to let's go to skills. What do you think the number one skill for a quarterback is?
I'll say really being able to throw the ball. it's easy to say, but just being able to throw it how you got to throw it. You watch people like Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes and one of my favorite, Aaron Rodgers, the way they can just complete passes. I mean, it's amazing, really. I mean, other stuff, being an athlete, that comes with, what you do in the offseason or whatever. But just being able to throw the ball, honestly, is just the number one thing.
And I was hoping you'd say, and I think you do this. Everybody talks about a gun. Everybody talks about this. You got to be accurate.
Yes.
And that's your strength again, I think. Demeatric. And that's what it was in high school. And I haven't seen you yet in college yet, but I will next year or spring practice. But making completions. But leadership is so huge. I remember when Troy Smith came out and I stood beside him at Ohio State camp. I said, don't worry about statistics. Troy was all worried about, the other quarterback coming in, and you weren't going to mention his name, but he had all these stats. I told Troy, I said, don't worry about that stuff, man. Just play. And I think it's so huge. Tell me, let's talk a little bit about recruiting. Let's talk about recruiting, because obviously it was tough for you because, my goodness, coming from Pick Central. And, the other guy I would mention, I have it in my notes here, I was one of the few guys that liked Taco Charlton. You remember Taco? I love Taco Charlton. Now, he was a little bit moody, and he was this and he was that.
Right.
But I love Taco Charlton. And he's doing okay now. I think he's finally, you're not related to him, are you?
No.
Okay. But but I remember, I thought you guys were pretty close in age, maybe. I don't know. But Taco jumps out at me. And like I said now, he's a character. But I really like him because he has the it factor. He just got to find it more. He has it. Okay, end of sermon on that one. Let's talk about recruiting, because obviously, and I'm not making light of this or making fun of you at all, but nobody really wanted you as a quarterback, did they?
Right. Yeah. I mean, a lot of schools, they seen, my office at Pick Central was more of a run. Like I said, I'm a guy, I just do whatever I got to do to win the game. So running is what Coach Harry wanted me to do. That's what I did. If he wanted me to throw the ball 100 times, I would have did that, no matter what it was. But yeah, I mean, coaches, they didn't want to take a chance on, the quarterback who possibly could, change position or whatever. And I wasn't hearing it. I wasn't trying to do what they want. I wouldn't switch my position. I know I'm a quarterback, but I really didn't have too much problem. Like, coaches wouldn't just tell me in my face, like, you're not going to play quarterback here. It's just more like, he wants to play quarterback. Okay, cool. They weren't really messing with me. But I mean, I ended up having a couple offers, had a couple MAC and things like that to play quarterback. But my thing with the MAC is, it's just like, they're not going to go win a national championship. They fight for their conference championship. No, nothing wrong with that. But I wanted to be able to win a national championship, and I thought that's what I could do here at Youngstown State. Really.
Well, I'll tell you seriously that, and it's a misconception, but everybody has, and the MAC is a good conference, but Youngstown State and the Missouri Valley, they're the Buckeye. I mean,
I'm
more scholarships, but
Coach, I play it now, so I know.
And I know, so you do the right thing. And plus, if you want to make it, it's so hard. I don't want to preach, but if you're good enough, you can get to the next level.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, what I'm saying? They're pro coaches that come into your schools. I mean, it's not like
every practice.
And they know you. And see, I think that's what's so. Well, I think it's going to change. But let's go back to you now. Let's talk about high school. Do you think it's important to play more than one sport? Because I remember you, and I'm not so sure I couldn't take you one-on-one, but I'm joking with you. But, you were okay, but you played basketball. And tell me, what's your thinking on that?
So I'm going to give you a little history behind this. So I originally went to Pick Central to play basketball because I played for AAU team called Ohio Red, and my coach was playing that team. Yeah, and I just wanted to go there. And I heard they had a great football program, you know what I mean, on a good team, got a couple players in the league, things like that. So I was like, I mean, football is my sport. I love football, but once I got offered in 8th grade by Kentucky, I kind of like laid basketball down. So I said, how good in football could I be if I just focused straight on football? So
Wow.
yeah, I was dunking in 8th grade, everything. I love basketball. I wish I would have played longer. But I definitely think it's a certain, I think definitely kids should be able to, high school kids, y'all should play multiple sports while you can, for sure. I think, because I know college coaches look for that. You know, I got some of my coaches and they be telling me like, you want this receiver, look how he about to dunk, look how he just dunked. I'm like, yeah, I would throw the ball up top to him. So definitely, if you're good in basketball, football, whatever, I think you should play more than one sport, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Well, and I think you showed me that you were more of a teammate too on that basketball as you got older, because you were focusing on football, but you also were playing basketball and you were more of a teammate. And I think that's goes back to the leadership factor a little bit. You know, that's huge, I think.
Yes, sir.
And that's why I go to basketball games, because I like to see what guys are like in other sports. You know, and basketball is a great one. You know, the first time I saw Sonny Styles was a freshman, and I saw him stuff one, I forget, or jam it on a fast break, and I'm going, man, you're wasting your time playing football, dude. I mean, it was tough. And I did an interview with him last fall, and I really like him, but he's got to make that decision. You know, I'm pretty sure he'll go football, but you know, I don't know.
Right.
He's pretty good.
Play.
Okay, let's talk about. Okay, let's see. I talked focus and recruiting. Tell me about let's go back to recruiting a little bit, because I think it's huge for kids. Now, you had a couple offers, but how did you maintain that, or how did you manage that, Demeatric? Being, you know, well, I don't know. You know, I think some of the bigger schools thought about you as a wide receiver, but how did you manage that? And that rejection is not a good word, or that doubt. How did you manage the doubt people had in you?
Really, like I said, it was very, very tough and mentally on me, because I'm the oldest in my family. So my dad and my mom, we didn't have any older people go through this. So I was like the experiment pretty much. So I was like, dang, what am I going to do? Did nobody want me? You know, so it was just tough at the time, but I'll say I just used it to fuel me. I'm like, it was crazy because that summer, you know, because I wanted to go to Indiana, but they had a whole new coaching change or whatever, and it kind of messed up my whole recruitment process and tore everything away. But because I have all my eyes on that, I'll say definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket for recruitment. Like, really have your options open to, that's the school you're gonna go to. But yeah, so I said I'm just gonna work hard. I'm not gonna worry about no recruiting. I'm just gonna just try to win, go in this season, try to win states and take it game by game. And we did that my senior year.
Yeah.
And that definitely will reopen back my recruitment and things like that. Like, they just want a winner, and that's really all I can say. Just focus. Once you focus on, take it day by day, all that's gonna come. You know what I mean? Even though, like I said, I feel like I didn't know where I was gonna go, but I just focus day by day.
One more thing. Let's talk about academics in school. How it's a silly question, but you really have to get at it in high school, don't you?
Yes.
And does that make you more disciplined?
Yeah, definitely.
Self-discipline, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I'll say to other kids who about to go to college, college football, you do so much football that you forget that when the school start, it's really like you have to do your academics too. Because that hit me. I'm like, because you do so much football, you got 2 a day, 3 days, you just doing this and that, and you got coach doing film, and you're a student to the game in football, and you're doing everything like this, and then you gotta go to classroom, and it's like, okay, so now this is really school too, like, so, and it's definitely time management, and I got a planner now, everything. You just got to be on top of everything, but yeah, academic and it's a big thing, definitely in college and high school.
What are you majoring in, Demeatric? Do you know yet?
Yep, communication.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Okay,
minor in entrepreneurship.
that's really good. That's really neat. They're doing away with the ACT, SAT scores. Okay, be honest with me. Is that good or bad?
They're taking that away, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best thing that they could do.
Why you say that?
Cause I mean, I just remember all the kids. I didn't really have a big problem with ACT. I took a couple of times though, but I know kids who just really couldn't get certain offers because their ACT score was bad. I mean, it's tough to really judge a kid off their ACT score and SAT or whatever. Because I mean, you got 4.0 kids who just really couldn't get a good grade in the ACT, and I think it's not fair. So I'll say the kids after the 2020 class are lucky, really, did not have to take the ACT.
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
that's neat because you're so honest.
Yeah.
Now, here's what I'm serious. I would expect that from you, by the way.
Yeah.
I see both sides. On one side, I say, I agree with you. There are not test takers.
Mm-hmm.
There are guys that can get good grades in classroom and not test takers. And so they freeze on the ACT or SAT.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it, I think it makes you work hard to get that score.
Right.
But so both sides. I think in the long run, it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be fine because, really, I don't know. I'm a former teacher.
Okay.
But I still think I think one of the big mistakes we make as coaches in high school is we don't recognize talent, and then the kids screw around and I don't know what word to use here, but especially cities. It's so hard. I don't want to say inner city, but Teddy Gann and these guys we've talked about, Coach Gann and I are really close friends. I think there's a disadvantage there. So in education with ACT, SAT, and I don't want to get into that stuff, but I think it helps. I think it helps. And plus, let's develop people. Let's develop kids. Let's make it better citizens. And whether you know SAT or ACT, that doesn't matter, I don't think.
As far as like the inner city, because I don't know if you know what South High School is.
I know all these places.
Yeah, so that was my home school originally, and my parents just didn't really feel comfortable as far as education and anything like that. So that's when I went to I moved out to Pickerington and went to Pickerington High School. It's just tough for kids there, I had problems when I went to Pick Central for the first year. I went there in 8th grade. School was hard. It ain't really hard. It's just tougher for inner city kids to learn. They're not. It seems like they don't really care as much as a kid. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that's a real thing, honestly.
I think we're in the same boat there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's talk about college. These things go so fast. We've been talking for 22 minutes.
Oh, wow.
I try to cut these things short at 20. So let's talk about college now, because there are a lot of guys going into college. Now, what should they expect from the college atmosphere? What did you have to adjust to?
You were pretty much a young man now. You know what I mean? You're on your own. Some people may like it. Some people may want to run from it. But, I mean, I embraced it. I have fun up here, so it's cool. But, yeah, you're a grown man. You have to pay the bills if you live in an apartment, whatever you live in. It's fun. It's cool to be an adult, but that's pretty much all. And it's a lot of distractions,
But you get a lot of help from the academics. You kind of mentioned that a few minutes ago. You can get help.
Oh, yeah, you get a lot of help. If you need the help, you get a lot of help. It's help everywhere. It's help everywhere around the team.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell us. We're going to finish here. Okay, and I'm covered everything. We talked about leadership, talked about recruiting, and we talked about all the things you've done. What will you do to get better as a football player starting now or next week or whenever? What are you going to do? Kind of go in detail what you're going to do for us.
What I'm going to do Wake up every day, probably go do a workout, eat a good meal or whatever. But I want to, as far as this offseason go, I want to really know what a team's doing, know what defense is doing before pre-snap or anything like that. I want to watch a lot of film this year. And that's what me and my coach, quarterback coach, offense coordinator, Coach Troy, that we've been talking about, just really focusing in and really knowing that, okay, I'm the guy now. So for me to be the leader too, there's a lot of things. It's a lot that I have to do, honestly, as far as being a leader, make sure my body even better, being more accurate, just want to be the best at my position, really.
That's really good. A few years ago, always the quarterback at Toledo Central Catholic, LaShawn Kaiser, when he went to Notre Dame, and we talked. This was in the fall. He was at a game, high school game, and we talked. And he said when he went to Notre Dame, the first 3 months he never threw a football, and he said all we do is look at video. All we did is study video, and it's really a tribute to you and Coach Rothenbuehler. It's so huge. And he told me, LaShawn told me, he said, I had to know what the defensive coordinator was thinking. I have to be able to think with those guys. Mm-hmm. And there's so much to that, I think. And I think even as high school kids, I think they don't look at enough video in the off season. And then I think everybody's caught up in this, quarterback has to throw all these balls and all that. I don't think you have to do that. I think you get stronger, you get your core muscles, and somebody has told you that. I mean, because you look at Joe Burrow, and look at his core sometime. I mean, he's ripped, but Joey's really worked at that, his core muscles. Mm-hmm. And he's done a pretty good job. But the thing I wish you the best. I just think there's so much ahead for you. And there was an old man, I think he's 73 now. He used to tell this young black quarterback, he said, be a quarterback. I don't care where you go, be a quarterback. And that was me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so proud of you, and I'm so glad you did this interview, okay? And really appreciate it.
Of course. Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
Okay.